just want to start by saying thank you very much for taking this time to talk to me, Eddie Donaldson, on behalf of AwareNow magazine and the writing on the wall. How are you guys today?
Very good.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Doing great.
I'm amazing. The weather in Louisville is great today. I'm
Yes,
excited.
it is.
Yes, we're blessed with good weather. So when I start these interviews, I like to start by asking, who are you guys? Not what is your name, but who are you?
Well, I guess I'll kick it off. I guess I'm a family man. I'm a father of three. I'm a wrestler, a break dancer, and my name is Hedges, and I am a soldier for life.
Okay.
Those are kind of some of the stepping stones or milestones that I went through in my life that has ultimately made me the man I am today. And this is my lovely bride and the CFO for our organization. And so I'll turn it over to Allie.
My name's Allison. I'm first and foremost a wife and a mother. Like you said, we've got three kids. I was a military spouse for a long time, so that kind of defined me for quite some time. I was a cheerleader back in the day. So that was a big part of what shaped me as well. So
Yeah.
the most important things to me anyhow.
Okay. Are you both from Louisville?
We are.
Yep.
Born and raised.
Where'd you go to high school?
Well, I went to Mamie S. Wagner High School, a traditional high school, and my wife went to...
I went to Sacred Heart Academy.
Great. I went to Trinity, so now we've gotten that out of the way.
There you go.
Well, actually tying into Trinity, so we sent both of our girls to Mercy, but Austin, my son, graduated from Trinity.
Nice. Go Shamrocks.
That's right.
There you go.
Okay, so this is a service edition. And I thought it'd be perfect to grab you guys and talk a little bit about this venture that you have, GS2, right?
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell us what GS2 is?
So GS2, so the big reason we started is because we wanted to give back to folks currently serving, veterans, retirees, government civilians, and their families. The gist of what GS2 does is we help businesses grow by connecting them to state and federal contracts if they're not in that space, or by getting them grants and foundational funding. And then we help them scale by connecting them to a quality workforce of transitioning service member and veterans, and which is really where our passion of giving back comes into place.
I saw something on your website about disabled vets. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so, a lot of times when you join military service, and there's a bunch of different disabilities out there, but as you probably know, suicide as it relates to folks that have served is at a number that needs to stop. It's actually horrible. And so most folks that served have come into some sort of scenario where they've got a disability when they get out. I am a service disabled veteran-owned small business owner. So I'm 51% owner of the company. Allison's the other 49. We're the founders of the company. But, there's everything out there from traumatic brain injury to PTSD to folks that lost limbs to just things as simple as now you got flat feet, or you got, 3 tears in your shoulder, or you had a stick go through your face on an airborne operation, which, if you can see the scar right there, was a bad airborne day, but we survived. And so, it comes with a bunch of different challenges. And so, so we are a service disabled veteran-owned small business.
And you guys offer solution and access to those vets that are looking for solutions, correct?
Oh, yeah. So if there's folks that we run across, we try to help veterans, their families, their kids in any possible way we can. There's a ton of nonprofits out there that can help folks that may be in need, whether it's counseling, whether it's support financially, whether it's therapy, anything tied, even medical stuff, quite frankly. And we can and do connect them to folks that can help them continuously.
You guys are national, correct?
We are actually. We're trying to go global, and so I'm working on my first global venture right now, which would be basically manufacturing and installations of EV charging stations.
Okay, that's great. So you know what comes to mind when we were out here during festival season with Artists for Trauma this year. We had numerous veterans come up to us and looking for resources, and we didn't think of you. We should have, because we had some guys that had some serious issues that just couldn't put it together how to find the solution, and they weren't getting the help they needed from their primary care physicians. So I'm glad to hear that, and I wish we knew that before, and maybe we could double back on that, because we had some real sad stories out there in the field this festival season.
Well,
and we connect you guys.
Yeah, if we can't help them personally, we know an organization that can.
Where to point them to? Yeah.
What
I mean, we call those fellow travelers, right? With Artists for Trauma, anyone that's going through something. I think everyone on earth is a fellow traveler in one way or another, because we all have something, right? But we come across a lot of vets, and we try to honor them by helping them as much as we can. So now we know we have a partner, a partner and friends in the field.
Absolutely.
I mean, it sounds to me like being of service has been your entire life.
Yeah.
To your country.
Yeah, that's I was in the wrestling room, which the foundation for my wrestling was laid by breakdancing, which I think you got a little background there on what I used to get into, but was a professional breakdancer, got into high school wrestling, and I was a leader in the wrestling room. And at that point in time, my grandfather and my uncle had served in the Navy, and it was just a passion of mine to give back and to serve. And my original plan was to try to get into the Naval Academy. Of course, I was a little late on the application process, so I went a different route and ended up going Army ROTC. But after going through that, getting in and serving for, quite frankly, the majority of my life still today, and then coming out and continuing to serve in the state government for another 2.5 years. When we stepped away with Merrill Lynch, that's what we lost. There was a piece that was missing. And so we started this business to continue to give back. And so, service is everything to us. Trying to just make a difference.
That's admirable. That's admirable. It's like I was watching something today on, Instagram, obviously, right? Social media. And it was like, we all just need to help each other. It's Kanye West, actually. I just figured out. He's like, we all need to help each other. We're one race. We're the human race. And we all need to help each other.
Absolutely.
And I think the world would be a better place if there was more Blaine and Alison Hedges out there, like really leaning in and using your talents and your skill set to help others. It's admirable. So kudos to you guys for that. Is there, like each of you, I'd like both of you to do this. Is there any quotes that you guys, I probably should have told this before, but is there anything you've heard out there in your life that sticks to you that's about being of service? Is there any quotes you can think of? Any leaders that you think of when you're out there charging your charge? Who do you look up to? How about that? Who do you think of as you create your own legacy?
For me, and I'll kick this off and let her think about from a military spouse perspective, but it was the folks that I served under in the military that took me under their wing, and they truly believed into teach, coach, and mentor. And so there's a lady out there that I actually just visited when I was in California. Major General retired Peggy Combs was one of my mentors. Another one was a guy, Major General Jim Bonner. And I would tell you, both of those folks, totally different leadership styles, both of them extremely very demanding. And they both taught me a tremendous amount as it relates to leadership and to giving back. But then you got folks out there like Colin Powell, just a phenomenal leader that, of course, did his military time and then continued on to serve the country. You got guys out there like General Shinseki, who I took him all over the world, but he gets done with his military time and he's head of the Department of Veterans Affairs. And so, it's folks like that, the folks that taught you, that brought you along, that mentored you, and, that helped you become the professional that you wanted to be. Those are the folks there, and that's just to name but a few. Allie, is there anybody in particular that stood out to you?
Actually, one of the people that you just mentioned, General Peggy Combs, she used to say, "Nice matters." That was one of the biggest things that I still think about that all the time. Anytime that anybody is just doing silly things and cutting on people, and you think, why?
Yeah.
We should all, if we were all just nice to each other. So that's one. Another one I would have to say, as being a military spouse and traveling around and being by myself a lot, quite frankly, I'm going to go back to a Bible verse. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I mean, that was a big thing. I mean, there were things that I had to do on my own that I never thought I could do. So I think that's probably a big one.
That's great. I'm so glad you said that. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I think you do. I was away from God since my mom died at 16 until 2 years ago. And it took Louisville and coming back to Louisville and going to the church where we had her funeral, and I confronted my anger and my frustration with the Lord. And I walked out of there and I went to Cave Hill and I had the most joyous experience. For the first time ever, I felt good and happy to be in the cemetery, and I surrendered and I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And I think, nice matters is great too, because if we all were just nice to each other, shit would be completely different out here.
That isn't the truth.
But I think people are lost, and I'm going to remember that. Nice matters. Thank you for that one, because I'm going to use that actually, I'm going to have to remember her name so that I can give her credit, because I don't want to give you credit for it. But
it's a fantastic lady.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. So now I'm going to go off topic and I'm going to talk about breakdancing for a second. So Blaine used to come to my house and spin on his head in my living room like 50 times. And how does this guy do this? Like, he just, it was, I guess you could see the leadership, the gusto in you when you were that kid, I mean, you had that spunk. I mean, you would just get on your head and spin, and it made me want to be a breakdancer. I just couldn't do it. He tried to teach me. I just couldn't grab it. So do you think, I mean, is there just something about certain people that are just born to lead?
I think it's, I honestly think it's in your DNA. Now, does that mean that, folks can't be mentored to lead? No, I think they can, but I think that individual overwhelming desire to lead, to win, to give back. Look, I mean, I honestly believe it's in your DNA, but then I think it's brought out of you by the folks that either you're raised by, or the folks that your coaches, or your good friends, or your aunts or your uncles. And so absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're a natural born leader, I believe. You inspired me as a kid. As a basketball and football player, you're always looking up to the biggest dude in the room, right? Because that's a symbol of strength, when you're young, right? And you're in sports. But to see the kid your size that was just had a smile on his face doing what you did, it was amazing. Because at Trinity, they were teaching us to be mean motherfuckers and, mean guys, get it, go get it, and the coach is hitting you in the head with your helmet. So yeah, I mean, now that I look back on our early days, you had it then, and you still have it now, and I'm proud to be able to call you my friend, and you too, Alice.
Well,
Is there anything you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, so I guess the advice that I would have is, think of it. Those folks, and quite frankly, when I say veteran, it's all inclusive of the family. But they have been through and seen things that, quite frankly, they don't want to share with others. They volunteered to do it. They knew what they were getting into, or they thought they knew what they were getting into. And if you can hire a veteran, hire one. If you can hire a military spouse, find a way to reach out, say hello, bring them into your family. Most people don't know, but the suicide among veterans is just simply out of control right now. Military spouses are unemployed at 8 times the national average. The ones that are employed are underemployed. They've got to move every 1 to 3 years. It is hard to have a profession, when you're moving state to state, and every state's got a different requirement and regulation. One state may say, hey, you got to get licensed through us. Or even for children, like, hey, you need to have 4 math credits. Or 3, and then you go to the next state, says you got to have 4. Well, you got there your junior year, and so guess what? You don't have time to fix it because you didn't take one your freshman year. And so anyway, I would tell you that military folks speak a different language, and I'm not just talking about the acronyms, but the way that. Well, I guess a lot of it is acronyms, but it's a lot of folks are recognized by their rank, or they're recognized by their Ranger tab, or they're recognized by their military occupational specialty. So it's a 74 Alpha, or a 31 Kilo, or 11 Bravo, and most of America just don't know what they're talking. I mean, they don't know what that means. And so if you're short personnel in your company, on your staff, find a veteran. And to help you find a veteran, you ought to have some sort of what I would call liaison officer that can help you, or interpreter that can help you understand who these folks are, how their experiences and backgrounds relate to what the company needs. And, it's organizations like ours that can be that interpreter, that liaison officer, that connector. And so that's one of the things that I would like to leave you with. And Allison, I don't know if you've got some parting thoughts.
You actually covered it all. And he's right. Military spouses are undervalued usually because nobody really understands what they're going through. And so I think that just understanding and thanking the whole family is a big thing. And then how to reach us is really just through our website would be the best way, just because you can go straight to it and contact us through that, which is gs2global.com. So it's a pretty simple website, and there's a contact us button on it, and we monitor that all the time. So,
all right, I'm going to ask you guys a lightning round of questions. So quick answers, okay?
Uh-oh.
Favorite restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky?
Ooh. Go, Allison.
I'm gonna go with what's the Italian one that starts with a P? Porcini's.
Yeah, that's the one that she's talking about.
I'm gonna say that one.
I'm going to go with Jade Palace. I worked there when I was 14 years old. They specialize in dim sum. And so if you've ever been to Chinatown in LA, but anyway, dim sum, Jade Palace.
All right, Blaine, favorite bourbon?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Buffalo Trace Distilleries Mash Bill 3, which is your Pappy Van Winkle and your Wellers.
Allison, are you a bourbon drinker?
I am not. I wish I was. I love the idea of it, but I don't like it.
Okay. Allison, what's your favorite band? Yeah, who's your favorite?
Right now, I'm going to say Chris Stapleton. It's not really a band, but that's
the same. and I'm there with you. I love me some Chris Stapleton. Blaine, who's your favorite band?
Well, so we listen to a lot of the same music, but if I had to throw one out there, I guess I would be Chris Stapleton too. I mean, she stole my fire on that one.
So when you were breakdancing, what was your favorite song to break to?
Oh man, I would probably have to do some Run DMC.
That's good.
Yeah. The first Unique Breakers little thing we did was to Rockbox, I think. Wasn't it? I think it was the first one we did was Rockbox. But you know, mine was Planet Rock.
Oh, there you go.
Planet Rock was good. I want to thank you guys for coming today. And if anyone's listening, you know, you obviously heard the facts, you know. So go hire a vet, call these guys and do what's right. And nice matters. Nice matters.